In software investing, there is a golden metric called the Rule of 40, and if a company crosses it, they're considered elite. Last quarter, Palantir didn't just cross it. They recorded an unbelievable 145% for the Rule of 40. For years, the biggest bear case against Palantir was simple. Great software, but they just don't know how to sell it. Well, that bear case is officially dead. In this video, we're breaking down how their radical shift in their sales strategy is causing an explosion in growth that is just getting started. If we look at the Rule of 40, you can see that where Palantir is at, there's no other software company that even comes close. The only companies that are even comparable to Palantir are some of the mega chip stocks currently. And the reason these chip stocks are even so high is currently every company is trying to aggressively build out their AI infrastructure, and so they're able to charge whatever price that they give. If we look at Palantir's sales strategy, they follow a three-phase approach. So first, they focus on acquiring customers. This is a phase where Palantir is losing money. So the goal is to get out of phase one as quickly as possible. Then once they get into phase two, they're focused on expanding. They're proving out the pilot value. They're looking to expand and deploy Palantir across new departments. And then they're going to start looking at opportunities to upsell, which will lead into this third and final phase of scale. Once they get into the scale phase, implementation costs drop to near zero, meaning that it is as close to pure profit as can be. And in this phase, they're getting to full platform integration, they're having extremely high margins, and they're focused on operational AI at scale. And the AIP bootcamps that you're hearing about, if you do any research on Palantir, this is focused on speeding up this phase one right here. And if we look at how Palantir used to do their sales cycle, in the past, one of the bear cases was that they were losing money trying to acquire new customers, and it was taken forever to actually start turning a profit on new customers. Before they followed the traditional sales cycle that took months to even a year plus, where they started with the real old school way of doing it: initial engagements and discovery, develop a POC, and go into negotiating. A lot of this is the old way of doing it where you're just sweet talking execs to try to get them on board and believe that you have something valuable to then deploy and start building out and getting actual money from those customers. Now, with the AI bootcamp approach, they've accelerated this timeline to the matter of days. So they start off in a couple of days, they go through an AIP bootcamp where they bring in real use cases from the customers and work with them to prove out the value. And quickly after that, they fast track to trying to get immediate results from the use cases. And then from there, they work with the companies to start scaling out to other departments to drive larger impacts. And that's when they're starting to get the contracts signed with them to actually start recognizing the revenue. And if we dive in to the AIP bootcamp specifically, you can think of this as a flywheel. So keep in mind, this is happening over the matter of a couple of days. So they start off on engagement and learning, teaching them about the AI platform, defining objectives, starting some hands-on workshops. Next, they go into building out workflows. So this is where they're working on specific use cases for the companies that are at the bootcamp. They'll work on configuring the ontology and creating the pipelines. Next, they'll go into operationalizing the AI, deploying AIP agents, running real-time operations. And then this goes into where they start actually generating real value for them, where they can see the potential reduced costs that Palantir software is bringing, and also the potential return on their investment. And as they're wrapping up this boot camp, they start to go into this final phase of iterating and scaling, where they're looking to expand the AIP usage across the enterprise and looking for ways to drive continuous innovation with them. I remember this is happening in the matter of a couple days, and we can see that this is successfully helping them get to that scale phase a lot quicker. Because if we're looking at net dollar retention, for the most recent quarter, it's up at 150%. What net dollar retention means is it's looking at the existing customers and the revenue they're spending today compared to what they did 1 year ago. So this is showing that the existing customers are spending 50% more year over year. So when you see those huge growth numbers of 80% plus for revenue, 50% is just coming from existing customers. And remember, when we talked about the scale phase, the implementation costs drop to near zero, meaning as they're expanding here, this is as close to as pure profit as possible. So seeing net dollar retention up at 150% is extra good because of this being as close to pure profit, and it also is proven that the scale phase is working. Now, if we look at when AI bootcamps started, they started back in Q2 of 2023. And I don't know if this is just coincidence or not, but their revenue bottomed that quarter at 12.7%. And since then, it's been on a fast track up and to the right, just exploded. Next up, we're going to dive into the success stories that their customers are sharing that Palantir is generating for them. So, if anyone hasn't seen these before, about once a quarter, they have an event called AIP Con, where customers come in and talk about how they're leveraging AIP and what the impact is driving for them. And if you weren't bullish about Palantir before, I guarantee after you listen to some of these AIP cons, you'll be extremely bullish because the impact they're driving is monstrous. It's not little bits, it's many multiples in a very quick manner. So, diving into the most recent AIP con in Q1 of 2026, you can see SAP within just 2 weeks, more than 70% timeline and cost reduction for a migration. For GE Aerospace in 2025, they output 26% more engines to their commercial and military customers than they did the year before. And this was with the use of AIP. Next up, Palantir and the US Navy. For submarine schedule planning, they were able to cut it from 160 hours down to 10 minutes. This number is almost unbelievable. It's not just reducing it a little bit. This is transformational. This went from 4 weeks of a full-time employee to 10 minutes. That's like as quick as just a quick morning email check when you first log on for the day. They had a material review that went from weeks down to under 1 hour. These aren't small changes, these are huge. Palantir and Lear, they have 175 use cases and they've already identified $30 million plus in savings in just the first half of 2025. This was in Q3 of 2025. This use case, 45 minutes of manual work went down to 5 minutes. And they did that in 5 weeks. American Airlines, tens of millions of dollars saved already. BP, year on year numbers, they're getting triple figure returns from the investments they're putting in with Palantir. Land Frost, production schedules used to take us about 40 hours to put together. Now they can do it in 30 minutes. State Department, they put the first application into production in just 3 months, and they reduced the time it takes to clear candidates to foreign service from 60 days to 12. That's a 5x. Nebraska Medicine. We'll speed through these, but just look at the numbers of transformation that they're doing. 2,000 plus increase in discharge lounge, 50% increase in patients transferred back, 30 minutes saved, 2 hours saved per shift, 2+ days saved in generating staffing reports, 99% approval rate on the AI driven packet generation, over 1,000 procedures flagged to prevent downstream denials, 1,100% efficiency gain, 3,000 minutes less error per week, 10,000 plus appeals sent in under 1 year, saving 2,000 plus hours. These are huge numbers. The numbers are so big of the improvements they're doing, it's almost unbelievable. Wendy's, they took a problem that would go on for weeks and days and they fixed it in 5 minutes. Heineken, in 3 months, the team built what took them 3 years before. And then to wrap up the success stories, this is what it's really all about, especially when it's a military use case. At the end of the day, for military use cases, the main thing is using the best software that gets our troops home. We want them to go over there, achieve their mission, and most importantly, come back safely. And what they're saying here is Palantir is the very best at delivering on this, and that's why they're heavily used in the government. All right, last section, let's focus on future acceleration. So the first if we're looking at total remaining performance obligations, this foreshadows future growth in the future. The reason being is remaining performance obligations, these are non-cancelable contracts. So generally, as these go up, revenue will start to follow as they're able to fulfill them. And what we're seeing here in most recent quarters is RPO has exploded. And while revenue is also exploding, it's nowhere close to what RPO is at, which means that they're still having a hard time from keeping up with demand, which means there's much more revenue to be recognized in the future. So when we see that RPO is growing faster than revenue, this is one of the cleanest possible signals that we can see that the future years are going to be even bigger. So when we're thinking of the remainder of 2026 and 2027, there's a good chance that we're going to see even higher growth rates. And then when we're looking at total revenue, the US consists of about 76% currently. And if you look over the past couple of years, the US is growing at a CAGR of 60%, while the rest of the world is under 20%. Now, when it comes to technology, the US is usually the pioneers, with the rest of the world always being laggards. But eventually, the rest of the world not going to be able to keep watching their competition, leveraging Palantir, and getting those huge transformational use cases where they're cutting down costs by multiples. They're delivering value from months down to minutes. Eventually, they're going to have to start leveraging Palantir if they want to keep up with their competition. So this presents a huge opportunity in the future as our allied nations eventually come around to adopting and using Palantir for their own use cases. All right, so we've looked at the product, we've looked at the leadership and the global scale. The foundation, it's now set. Next week, we're putting it all into the spreadsheet. So make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure to hit that like button as well, because in our final video, we're breaking down the exact numbers that justify why Palantir is tracking towards a $500 stock price. Until then, I appreciate you watching.